Listen, it was our first year. We got promoted. We built a squad we thought would be able to keep us in the division first and hopefully to compete and to give a good account of ourselves. We had a bit of a slow start. We know we went through in the Nedbank Cup, and so the Nedbank was a bit of the focus in the first part of the season, but we weren't far off the pace. We had a lot of games in hand because we had to catch up. And then from the second half of the season, I think the boys realised what needed to be done, and we had a very good end to the season. I think we won 10 and drew one of our last 11 games. And yeah, we were pipped at the line by Zizwe, who obviously went to the playoffs. So it was a very interesting season and challenging because, you know, no one expected us to be where we were, and all of a sudden the expectation was there once we started winning games. And it was good to keep the players focused and concentrated on the task.
Yeah, just talk about preparations and looking at your first, when you promoted the club into this division. Do you feel much more responsible, and maybe the kind of the pressure kind of was more for you to kind of maybe win the league again?
Yeah, I think obviously the success at Hanover Park basically, put a bit of pressure on me coming back to my old club Vasco, who I played for as a youngster. It was almost like coming home again, and I thought I needed a new, fresh challenge. I think at Hanover Park, got to the end and I had achieved what I wanted to achieve there and got the club back into the ABC where they deserve to be. It's a top club. And then moving to Vasco was another challenge. I think the pressure was on. I think, the owner didn't put pressure on me, but I felt the pressure I needed to show that Hanover Park wasn't a once-off. And I think for me personally as a coach, it was a new challenge, as a lot of new players that I'd never seen before and, physically coached. So it was actually good. In the first year, beginning of the season, we started off well. I think that momentum carried on. I think we lost 2 games the whole season. And we won it in the first season, the Regional Men's League. And then obviously going to the playoffs in Plettenberg Bay was challenging. Taking a lot of players who've never been involved in playoffs. A lot of our youngsters had never played third division before, and that challenge and seeing how they matured during the season. And I think the playoffs, turned the boys into men. Yeah. We made it through the playoffs, thankfully. And yeah, we got promoted to the ABC Motsepe. I thought the pressure was off me because I thought, okay, I got the club promoted, but the pressure was on again. The owner, he's invested a lot of his time and energy and his family's time into the club or the team. And he wanted the Nedbank as being something we should go for, and we went for it, and we achieved it. Unfortunately, the round of 32, we ended up playing a top PSL team away. Yeah. But I think the exposure we got and the lessons we learned was very valuable for us, especially for the second half of the season, for that run we had. The boys had a lot of confidence, and I think we had a point to prove that we weren't just a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, as a coach who's been around and quite experienced, you measure your performance based on where you compete and, taking on against the best. Yeah. You went at that last 32 and the confidence was very high and everyone was looking at Vasco, and which you've represented us quite very well.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, TS Galaxy's top team. Going up there, some of our players had never flown on a plane, never stayed in a hotel, so it was a real eye-opener for them. And I think, like I said, listen, I think for most of the game, we only woke up after 15 minutes and you're already 3-0 down. Yeah. And I think the boys showed a lot of maturity to compete. I think there was about a 30 to 40 minute spell where we actually competed well. And then we ran out of legs towards the end, big field. And I think the nervous energy was gone at that stage. And then TS Galaxy just completed the job that they set out to do. But I think we learned a lot. I think a lot of the players, realized the level we needed to be at. And like I said, from then on, the intensity of training, the maturity the boys showed, we didn't let any little setbacks affect us, little injuries here, suspensions there. And I thought we fought very well towards the end of the season.
And I'm sure that experience also kind of lifted the boys to kind of realize that at the stage that they're competing at, this is the biggest stage that you can find. And that is how this league, ABC Motsepe League, can sort of transport you into the next stage.
Oh, 100%. People always look at the lower leagues as development. So this is part of development. I think the players developed as human beings and as footballers technically better. And I think the ABC Motsepe is very competitive. It's one of the most competitive leagues you'll find. There are a lot of top teams. Every week in our stream, it was like a cup final. And I think that has prepared the boys well. And obviously going into this season, I think it's set us up well.
Yeah, I always say that this is the toughest league that you can find because you have to also travel to Beaufort West and move around the province, playing against the oppositions where you maybe don't have enough information. But let's transition, coach, and talk about the future plans, maybe, your reflection of the previous season and what you plan to do in this current season that we're getting ourselves into now.
Yeah, I think, we set the bar high. I think finishing second to Zizwe, was no mean task considering where we were. I think we were disappointed towards the end. We actually thought we had a very good shot of finishing top. And I think that has driven us now. I think we've made a couple of additions, I think about 5 or 6 players. We haven't changed the squad too much. I think the boys know what they need to do. We brought in some fresh blood, a lot of good youngsters into the squad with ABC experience. I think we just lacked a little bit extra last year. I think proven goal scorer in this league is vital. I think we had that last year. We had 2 very good goal scorers in Luciano Johnson and Tristan van der Lingen. This year they're still with us, which is good. So that has set us up. I think the experience of a lot of our players, our average age, I've got to tell you, the oldest player we have in the squad is 26.
Sure.
So, we're keeping it young and fresh. And, in the season, I think there are a lot of new teams now that are coming in, making a lot of big signings, a lot of money being splashed around. But listen, it's good. It's good for our football. I think Cape Town football needs that. I think we've lost a few professional teams. And if we can make the ABC Motsepe League stronger and, push us all up another level, I think it's vital for Cape Town football. Indeed,
Coach. That is an added responsibility to you as the coaches because we only have Stellenbosch Football Club at the top now. So as someone who comes from a very historic club, and I'm quite sure there are long-term visions in terms of reaching, the different league levels. What is some of the long-term plans at the club?
Well, listen, I think, those who don't know, Vasco played in the PSL not too long ago. Obviously, the club is aspiring to get back into the professional PSL side, the NFD or Motsepe Foundation Championship and the PSL now. So we're obviously trying to get that. We don't have, the resources of other clubs. So we try and look for talented boys who can get us there and who want to achieve it. I think the ambition is there. I think the ambition is for Vasco to get to a higher level. I think I don't think there's a lot of pressure on me per se to get there, but I think I put the pressure on myself and the players for us to get there. I think the players themselves want to get there, and I think we all want to get there, and I think that unity now is important. And listen, if we achieve our goal, brilliant, that's what we want to do. If we fall short, I'm telling you now, we're going to fall short close.